Peace, greetings, peace. Creating at this moment, but I got a little topic that I actually want to discuss. Cause y'all know, well, those who do know me, I speak on some things that a lot of people are afraid of. But let me tell you and say this, give an honor to source, ancestors known and unknown. Give gratitude to the all. This is a very important topic here. Are y'all aware, first and foremost, peace to all. Are y'all aware of the times we're living in? When I say that it's so important, especially on your healing journey, you're gonna realize why a lot of things you're being protected of right now. That's one specific topic. Let me sit this painting down. I'm actually finishing up something right now. I'm gonna give you a little glimpse of it. Okay, that's enough. That's enough for you. Let me sit y'all down right here. Okay, I mean, it's gonna be fucking lovely. This is an interesting topic at hand. I have a lot of people, well, it's not even about the people. This is a topic that needs to be discussed in regards to how, upon your healing journey, many people go through this. I know I'm gonna keep licking my lips. Let me get some of this chapstick. Many people go through this, but a lot of people don't have the strength to actually, I always bring back to myself, a lot of people don't have the strength to actually proceed with it. But it's very vital. What am I talking about? Because I'm gonna be, y'all know I'm gonna be all over the place sometimes, but it's out of love. Let me tell y'all something. It is okay, especially to my young men, young kings, that's upon your healing journey or will come to this awareness. It is okay to practice what we call semen retention. What is semen retention? Or some may call it celibacy. Some may call it restraining from sex, whatever it is, however you want to use the term. Let me be the first to say that this is okay. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing, however you want to perceive it, because a lot of what you'll see or become aware of is who you are. Who you are without these things. That's the discipline in it. That's the purity that comes along with this. Not only who you are, but what level you've been operating from. It's not to say co-creating sex, however you want to use the term, is not a beautiful thing, but you have to see the process of how it's been used from a lower level or lower vibrational perspective. What do I mean lower vibrational? I'm gonna say this like on a hood term or slang, whatever. Just giving yourself to anyone. Just giving your body to anyone. And I used to sit back here because I've had these multiple conversations with people on this topic. For me now, it's actually been since I want to say August, end of August. Yeah, 2021. It's actually coming upon almost you can say 2 years or many cycles. That's all I'm gonna say. And just being honest, authentic, I still have to fight my own motherfucking demons. And I don't just mean just the temptation. I'm talking about from masturbation and all those things. Like, let's be real here, because the beauty of this all is that there is temptation everywhere. And it also was teaching me the discipline in not only who I'm giving myself to, but also like who I want to co-create with and create a legacy with as well. Because I was telling my homeboy, I'm like, bro, really sit back And just think like how you used to talk to a girl, and this both men and women, because it's accountability. This is when we heal, this is when we're gonna start realizing the accountability in all of this shit. Is that look at the patterns. We used to really look up to our cousins, uncles, whomever, mom. We were influenced by so many things, and just see how sex has been perverted so much to where it's been so scrutinized and so devalued to where people don't even realize and see the beauty in it. I mean, it's a cycle of life. That's how we all got here, out of the womb of the woman. But what I'm getting at is this. It's like, bro, I was really having a deep conversation with one of my soul brothers. I was like, bro, can you believe that? Man, we used to act, you would realize how disgusting or how devaluing or just, I don't even know the words, just like, wow, that shit is how you used to watch your cousins, or you see this rap culture, or you see this, when you start really getting to the depth, spiritual warfare, really like how the music has and been used to target or, you know, put rap, you know, we get so wrapped into the construct of, or whatever, like just get so caught up in the narrative of like how we treat women, how we view them more on an external surface and mundane way. And then now we're like, yo, when you come into this awareness consciously, and then again, it's beyond our control, but at the same time, once you're on that path of healing, you'll be like, bro, I was like, bro, you remember such and such? We used to brag and all this. Women too, y'all too, everybody, because we learned it from something or somewhere. Not realizing like, where do these habits come from? You know, not realizing like when you get into depths like the incubus, succubus spirits, the jinns, all that shit, to where you're like, you don't even know what this person did. We used to look back and laugh and be like, oh yeah, you know, I'm into this or I'm into that. Oh yeah, shawty, you know, I went over there, pop, pop, pop. You know, I beat. Like, bro, that casual sex way of living, speaking for myself, those days are done. Have I been tempted? Yes. But I don't know where you've been. I'm gonna be honest with myself. Some of the shit that I did in the past, by the grace of the Most High Source, like, I'm grateful that I realized that I'm grateful for this journey. Because once you remove sex, in the sense of like, when I mean relations, once you remove certain things, money, certain things are removed, you really see who you are, but also you see other people. You see where they are and what their foundation is actually built upon. I mean, look at the narrative of how society, or just, you see this stuff is fading away now. It's not even about how you look anymore. I'm gonna be real with y'all. It ain't even about how you fucking look. It's about spiritual currency. It's about what's inside. You're gonna be able to see that. And when I'm talking about from a spiritual perspective, you're gonna be able to see people for who they are. I'm seeing it now, backing up. I'm like, oh yeah, shawty, wow, she look amazing. But I'm like, yo, deep down, no, she is something. She possess, it's something in there. It's something that ain't, that it pull you. And you sitting here like, bro, why I can't get away from shawty and this and that. Bro, it's a whole lot of spiritual warfare, my bro. Whole lot. We sitting here bragging about this and bragging about that. And our women, and we are also affected by this shit. Nobody wants to talk about that, but I will. Because it's the reality, it's the actuality. Because if we're talking about elevating mentally, spiritually, consciously, a lot of us are going to realize, like, individually, you're gonna go through this, restraining from sex. Then you're going to see how it connects you to the matriarchal and the patriarchal. A lot of things are going to be revealed to you through your dream state, through the, you know, your visions, or however the creator reveals it to you. And you're going to see how the traumas was passed down. I saw a lot of shit when I backed up. I saw my mom. I saw the behaviors. And this is not pointing the finger at her, at anyone. I just saw why it was meant for me after a certain relationship or connection or union, why I had to restrain from certain things to tap more into the feminine aspect of why I attracted these women, and then also taking into account of not only the women, what was that reflecting? Was it reflecting the aspects where I was unhealed, the wounds? Why is my life the way it is? So I'm sitting here like, yo, not realizing like, coming to the real self-realization, but also unconsciously realizing that these are subconscious programming. These are things that have been pushed to the wayside. One moment, let me turn this thing off. But these things have been pushed to the wayside as if like it's not important. And this is why I always, the accountability and how the princess is restoring her power, being that the princess is the daughter. And then you have, the royal energy. It's like the reversal of the karmic cycles, the pain. And so again, going back to that, this is like, you're able to become more of an observer and aware, like, you see the generational patterns. I sat back, I was like, yo, dang, my mom. I'm like, yo, like, it ain't even just the mom thing. You step back and you start becoming aware of the patterns and habits and even the spirits that are attached to people, even their behavior and what they do and why they do it, and why it is that you get there's so much resistance when you start to pull away, when you start to elevate mentally, spiritually, physically, and as that push-pull to where you get, like when I was mentioning it to people, telling them, I'm like, yo, they were just assuming like, oh, you're going to hear everything. For people who on this journey, you're going to hear, oh, he or she is gay, or, not knowing what their background is, not knowing what has happened to them. And this is not everyone, but not knowing what they have experienced for them to actually, because again, as you exchange an energy, which is spirits, and I mean in a sense of like saliva, kissing, all that. I was telling my homeboy, I was like, bro, we sitting here thought that shit was so popular, bro. And I'm sitting here and I go to the depths. I'm like, Shawty could actually be leaving you after she did this, whether she went down, fallacious, whatever, and go right back home. But and then the thing is, it's not even a point in the finger, because it's not about he said, she said, this and that. It's everyone. This shit has been ongoing. And we don't even want to go, when you see the problem, what is the root of the problem? Again, a lot of people are doing what they don't even realize is subconscious programming. And I don't mean just going out there willy-nilly and doing this and all like that. Trust me, I know people who have sex for a living in the sense of what they doing porn. And again, that's another thing, the porn, what else? The prostitution. Come on, man. You can give all these titles, but some way, somehow, not everyone. You either been pimped or pimped someone. Unconsciously and consciously. And then it eventually catches up. But shit, a lot of people been getting pimped by let me shut up. But anywho, a lot of I'm saying, a lot of what was created is for us to become awareness now, to acknowledge it, to release it. And then a lot of which was done for survival. A lot of our ancestors that came before us, or a lot of the women and men, were raped. So you're talking about this spirit has been passed through generations. So we're looking at butt breaking. We're looking at, you're looking at a lot of stuff to where it's coming full circle now. A lot of people don't talk about it. They're afraid. You're talking about incest. You're talking about, if you want to use that term, you're talking about people. I'm talking about, it goes deep. I met people that where they've been touched young. And we thinking that this is a physical thing. This is a spiritual thing. That leads people to live a life to where their program and conditioning, so like through a survival state of trying to be fulfilled in that. Not all of the porn stars going to tell you, but I wouldn't be surprised if most, and I'm just going to assume, if my calculation is correct, 80, 90% of them probably have been molested. That's very strong, but I would not doubt it. And I don't mean just either molested or sexually assaulted or abused. I've experienced being a model. I've done things to where, and been in environments to where I'm sitting here like, yo, what? You're thinking that this shit gets deep. We're assuming here like, this is why so much is being brought to the light, where I met models and people who have done things to where they had to get to where they were going. Because this shit go way, way, way back to where the butt breaking, the devaluing of the woman and man to make them, to demasculate them. So, and then we see people, a culture, or people try to brag about, oh yeah, I got him, or yeah, this and that. And then once you get to that awareness, like, bro, this person don't slept with how many people? You're exchanging with people, huh? And then not realizing that this is causing so much imbalance, chemical imbalance, women, you know, pH balance, spiritual warfare in your life. It gets deep to where people are actually, you can actually have visions of people who you're interacting with, because it's like what you want to call soul ties or soul connections, or you maybe even have a high vibrational connection, or have been something dealing with past life, or even something in the ethers cosmically. Like, it's that deep. So a lot of us are, like I was telling my bro and another sister, I was like, yo, we used to really go out there and this person do this and go back and do this with that person with no hesitation, no regards, and not realizing how now we are a part of karmically ending cycles, banishing and releasing these spirits that no longer can run rapid in the family. Have you ever considered that? Yes. It's not even just, see, everything is important. It's also connected. So the physical appearance is one thing. But once you start to dive in deep and do the inner work and the shadow work and the healing, you'll see how you start to integrate and become more internalized or interdependent on your connection to source. How you're breaking generational cycles of survival. If you consider the women that I met, women, I've been face to face with people who have sex to make a living, like to live. And just consider like giving yourself away to not seeing the importance of the value in who you are. So our women, the matriarchal, this is the healing that's happening. You know, there is no more casual sex anymore. People are going to start to realize how vital, sacred it is. You're going to have some people not even want to even experience it anymore. And that can be a whole nother level, because a lot of people I know that are at that place where you have people like this that they don't want to have kids, or this lifetime they may want to just be with themselves and just experience life. People are at that level. Some people don't even view sex or co-creating as something, a part of their experience. That's okay. Hey, no judgment here. but a lot of which we are reversing. The energies are reversing, like as far as like karma that has been put out, millions and thousands. You're talking about different species and just spirit, like so many things that are getting cleansed right now. And this is why a lot of us, especially a lot of you, are being called and initiated in the spirit to high priestess and shamans and, you know, honoring your, if you want to call it, witch, you know, of light or healing, but honoring the dark, I'm saying, but in the sense of like honoring your truth of why through this process of healing, how it reconnects you to your essence and to how it is you came to be. And then even a lot of this is helping us to clear out so many things from our DNA, being that all the clutter, all the things being passed through the wombs, and to usher in more high vibrational frequencies and star seeds kids, you know, that on a more cellular, you know, higher vibrational level, a way of being, not this lower state that we were once in. No, those spells are dispelling or being released or returned and to sender, and a lot of things are being breaking down, destroyed, and released, and these entities and the powers that used to be or were, you know, it's falling apart. And so this is why a lot of us now, it can seem very fearful for some, but also those that are embracing the unknown, it seems very unfamiliar, but at the same time, there's still a knowingness within you that it's teaching you to be secure. So it may seem crazy to others, but a lot of this is teaching us interdependence rather than being codependent. And so that codependency, what has that suffering and pain and all those things from a lower state, led us to now elevating higher in a higher state of being, higher awareness of, you know, more observant of what we do, who we do it with, and so forth. But yeah, man, like I was saying, I was telling just having this discussion with people, and a lot of us are at individual levels. It's like, you're going to realize like a lot of this is for protection. People may not get it, of course not. But as you're elevating, you're going to align and attract those who understand, and then you're going to overstand. There are those that are like-minded. This is why this is happening the way it is. This is why things even globally is happening around the world, because there's a cleansing, not only in our cellular structure, DNA, who we are, but we're cleansing, you know, everything. Everything is happening the way it is. And this is why you see it in the weather. All of this is connected. When you see the feminine principles, the masculine principles, and we start to learn more about being more on a frequency aspect of things and not more on the physical, a lot of things will not resonate. People, like, bro, let's be fucking real. I'm not gonna pretend like I don't even want to have conversation. Like, I be literally like, I've met women after being in this place, and immediately after I hear them talk or say something, I'm like, it does nothing for me. I'm not even like, don't be like, we don't have to be delusional. You can be authentic. We don't even have to respond. Like, sometimes I don't even respond. I don't like to hear people brag about you a bad beat and you got the best put, like, ugh, like what? I used to really be like, deep down, I really no. A lot of this shit ain't even gonna be a part of the new world, in the new way of being. And when you're speaking to a woman that's intuitive and elevated spiritually, this is what's coming. We are attracting those that, like, it's not about the wrong or right aspect. It's more of a righteous way of being. You're attracting those that, like, and this is what, and this happened over time because everybody don't realize, like, when you interact with people, you help them initiate their spiritual path or their healing journey. Like, it could have been something very traumatic, whether you had, you co-created with someone. You're like, oh my God, this is the worst baby. Daddy, and all this shit was purposeful. Everything. Why you think a lot of us are elevating? And the purpose of all this is, I even got artwork, I don't even know where it's at, to where I was creating stuff to where I was like, why am I, it was, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you the purpose of why everything happens the way it does. Story time. No, but for real, even how I'm talking about this, which is very vital. It's very vital. A lot of, like, the art, the stuff that I'm creating, it has a message. See, me. And this even, how it's all connected with the restraining from sex, but also me being in solitude with myself, learning more about me. It's what's in the middle, you know. But also, you see the judge, the money, child support agreement, you know, the fist, the child abuse, you know, the pointed, you know, angry, the abuse, the covering the mouth, the jail, the pill, the upper dorm, all this stuff right here, this is a message. But in the middle is to remind me who I am. The royal energy that's within me. The divine spark that's within me. Because all of these things outside also help trigger and initiate what was in me. And this is from my own experience. I don't judge people. I had the position to throw the stone and hide my hand. But there are people who may not agree, but I don't really give a fuck. But a lot of this shit was designed to keep people divided, period. And then, you know, I know people like, well, if they don't do this, how am I going to survive? How, you know what? I told people that this is a death to the old world. Child support system, a lot of this stuff, even the money system has changed because of the abuse of power that has, you know, the medications and all this stuff. You know, all these things is a part of spiritual warfare. The truth of the matter is, do you know who you are? Do you realize the karma that's coming upon this land? Just like this one as well. Art. This is something I had in my sketchbook as well. You know, this, having grown up experience, a mother who, being around people, a mother who, you know, use crack. I mean, you know, then I go to I don't just look at the problem. I'm like, well, what's the root? Where did it come from? How did it get here? Who's distributing to her? You know, the medical industry, you know, all these things, heroin, all this, the basketball, the money, the football, bribing, you know, all these things. But deep down, who am I? Who am I without all of this? Or seeing this? I had to experience, but who am I? You know, when I see people who make the millions or whatever it is, but I'm like, for me, I'm like, how does that make sense for people to be on the fucking street? You got people out here making all this money, whatever it is, but where's the, you know, why is it mothers and kids, mouths unfed? You see what I'm saying? We want to talk about drugs, but this is the biggest drug industry in the world. This is why it's the collapse of all of this. And then what's going to show you is that spiritual currency. Who are you? When all of these things collapse, this is the identity crisis that's happening. So it's like without the sex, without, you know, the sex and being driven off those desires, am I more driven more on the lust aspect? something outside of me? Or is it more of, you know, these things externally? This age of Aquarius is the golden age of information, where this is the matriarchal, the feminine, taking her, being restored, the balance being restored with the feminine principles, the matriarchal. You know, the pain we had to experience with that, now to restore it. So when you see this picture, I have to see how my mother was affected by the cocaine that was distributed from other countries, that was distributed here. Other people I know now that don't even know who they are without medication. Because, you know, you're told to do this, we're told to do all these things, but what about, we prescribe with all this shit, but what about actually sitting down, talking to people, really listening to them? I'm not saying to save people. No, it's not about saving them. But a lot of this is more of an escape. This is escapism. I can go deep with a lot of it because, again, it's not about changing people. It's about triggering something. Whether I'm going to say whatever is uncomfortable, that's a triggering. If it's uncomfortable, okay. You can take it as education. This is for educational purposes, or this is entertainment. At the same time, this is no different. Because if you don't know who you are, then what is all this about? And the truth of the matter is that a lot of which I know from my experience, a lot of people do it for escapism, to feel. But really, they're trying to just numb the emotion. They're trying to numb the pain. So I know a lot of with me knowing who I am, taking a step, you know, going to seclude myself and seeing the importance of healing myself and realizing, like, okay, when all of this is removed, do I still know who I am? When you know, when I see people, you know, try to force their kids to do all these things, but are you teaching them integrity without this? You're teaching them to do this, to get this, but are you teaching them to love themselves? It's the same all the way around. It's all connecting some way. It's all some type of karma that we all have to cleanse. So when you see this distribution, all this stuff that's happening globally, okay, what's the root of it? Where's the accountability? Because there's no more brushing shit up under the rug. What's done in the dark comes to the light. So my thing is this, is that we can always talk about the problem, but what about the solutions? It's a duality to everything. For everyone that, you know, bring things to light, again, there's still going to be balance in the world where people are going to, you know, overindulge. I'm telling you, this is what's happening right now. This is something I would resonate with, and I read an article about, but this is just how everything is aligning right now to basically cleanse what is happening right now. When things that are becoming popular, like the spiritual journey, the conscious, and all this other stuff, which really, it's these entities or whatever it is have to find a host or find people. And in reality, it's still going to expose who and what it really is. You cannot unsee what the Creator has given to you, like the gifts. So the beauty of it is that whenever you're approaching someone, especially as myself, we come to, like, don't come over here. We healing over here. Yes, it's a beautiful thing because we are coming out of that fucking pain and survival and all that stuff. We're healing over here. And just because to other people, to perception, that someone may not have all of these things at the moment, doesn't mean that they won't come or it be given to them. I was telling someone today, I was like, a lot of what was given to people who have it or who boast or whatever it is about it was given to them first. That's what source is. The universal, it's universal law. What you give, you know, what's given to you, what you put out returns. So, and the message, the whole, like, the gist of it all is that things are changing. Like, I was expressing to those that know me or I interact, and I said, look, it's either evolve or things are going to die away. Things are going to just fade. It's already falling apart. So a lot of this stuff is like just a distraction in a way, only if you allow it. And so really, distractions ain't, sometimes you got to be distracted to, you know, reassess yourself or realign yourself. But whatever is not willing to evolve is going to go. Like, even with some elders, they're not willing to change. Some people ain't even going to accept the fact that it seems like we're in a fucking apocalypse or the end of time, or it seems like the end of the world, when in reality, a lot of us are here to help initiate the new way of being in a more holistic way, in a more healthy, beautiful way, in a more humanitarian way. So there's nothing that can get in the way of that. Woe to my enemies. That's all I have to say, because the message has been delivered to those that know. And this is the thing, a lot of us are initiated on this path specifically to bring forth a higher awareness consciously, and because it's imprinted in our DNA. It's who we are. Like, how is it? Marcus Garvey's like, I'm trying to see how he quoted that. He was saying how, you know, how people, they suffer or they lack, they don't have no awareness of their future because they don't have knowledge of their past. That's with everyone. This is why a lot of stuff is being exposed for a reason, so we can be the one who cleanse it and clean the shit up. A lot of us going to find out like how some of our ancestors or some of the people that came before us had their hand in a lot of stuff or certain things. And so a lot of people are not going to accept it. Some people will resist it. Some people will embrace it. But all I'm saying is that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Everything is happening as it is. The beauty of it all is that had you not, then what? You know something that I don't know? I mean, what do I know? But what I'm aware of is that the spiritual currency, know that you are the shit. Know that you are the one that you're seeking. Know that you are coming into union with self. These divine unions have already, you know, the whole twin flame, all this other stuff people talking about. Look, you are your partner first. You are your everything first. And because that's what Source, the Creator, has always been. This is why the restoration of, you know, balancing the energies are important now within the feminine and masculine aspect. This is why we even had to attract. I don't like, I'm not here to judge people. You could have attracted, because you have these people out here. A lot of us could have attracted people from, whether it be, if you want to use the term same sex or whatever it is, but you had to experience. This is what your soul came here to do. We all came here to experience karma. No one is exempt. So a lot of the healing, I realized, like, it showed me a lot of seeing how the matriarchal was affected and how I was being used as a representation of the patriarchal to take in account, to become more aware, to bring healing and a holistic love to the family structure that I was placed upon and placed into. That's the great responsibility. That's like the curse and the gift in essence, like the pain in the game. It's like, again, we want to talk about generational curse. Well, your family, whatever family you were initiated into or your bloodline, you were the curse. Until you had to go within, unwrap yourself. I got to do oh my God, this is going to be so amazing, a vision. I mean, masterpiece of it. You had to unwrap yourself to see the gift within. You are the fucking gift in the present. Because nothing can be hidden no more. Nothing like this, it just cannot be hidden no more. You are the divine spark. You are the vibration. A lot of these titles, as you elevate, it's not even the titles. A lot of this stuff was just simply used, the principalities and all that was just simply to keep people in the illusion of separation. What is man without woman? Or what is, all these things without the duality, the dark and light? What is the negative without the positive when you look at a battery? The family that you have been initiating to represent that negative aspect, like a minus when you look at the battery. But you represent the positive. What is that? Dotting I's, crossing the T's. I mean, when you look at it negative in you are that cross in a sense of like the spiritual and physical. You represent that spiritual aspect that the family dynamic really isn't more aware of as you are. So, of course, you're going to see the negative, but also see how the negative actually is the positive in a way. And it's like to do your best to either stay neutral, stay balanced, stay centered, heart-centered. So all of this has to be the way it is. It's divine spark. Look, I'm not in control of this. I'm just sharing the message, man. And so that's just what it is. And again, a lot of us are here on this land, if you want to call it America or whatever. A lot of this, I was talking to someone earlier, expressing to them like, man, you got to think about how millions of people were castrated and so many things happened here on this land. A lot of us had to karmically experience things. When you start to get into the depths of past life regression, you start to realize why you connected with this person. You start to realize why we're healing abandonment, betrayals, and losses. You're talking about people that are native, especially the ancient native, or the ancient indigenous or aborigines people here, that not only the patriarchal but the matriarchal, the abandonment from what they've experienced here, the losses, family, the bloodshed, and also the trying to trust again, the betrayals in tribes, every time you're seeing someone getting shot and all this other shit that's happened, man, we're all healing from betrayals. That's why a lot of us had to go through this, if you want to call it enlightenment, or seclude ourselves, because you really start to see how the past life and how all these things up to this lifetime, how a lot of this is connected. It makes a lot of sense to where you're going to realize why you even own this land. Even how a lot of, you get to the depths about it, like, it's not just your avatar, your physical body, but how your soul, like, going to the, those that resonate with this, how your soul agreed, or your calling chose you. You didn't choose it, but it's like how you are aware of what has happened, and then you're seeing how what you've experienced, the pain, actually choosing to clear the karma, how it actually is integrating or setting a blueprint for those that come after you to actually set a solid foundation to restore the love from the betrayals, the losses, the abandonment, to clear those blockages in your chakras or in your body. So those things happen now so we can be at peace with that. A lot of us now that are aware of this or at this level, because everyone plays their role, everyone has a role. It is simply so simple as peace this lifetime. Not even have nothing to do with the material so much. Because a lot of that is so low to where we're upgrading our DNA or elevating mentally and ascending to where we're going to be in places and realize that abundance has always been here. So we're going to be guided. Our Ori is going to guide us. Our higher ups are going to guide us and be in align us with those who are, as the Earth, Wind, and Fire was saying in their songs, that there are others that have awaited your arrival. So the beauty of all of this is that what's the pain without the gain? Or what's the gain without the pain? What's the loss without receiving? You know, what's the letting go? You know, are you doing this? What are you doing it for? Can you see past yourself and see the bigger picture? Most won't. That's the deep acceptance. Most won't see the bigger picture because they're not meant to. The bigger picture is seeing past this physical shit, this physical illusion. And a lot, that's why I love the Avatar. You can YouTube this. This would be dope. Is that when the Avatar in the cartoon was meeting with a lot of the, if you want to call them gurus or certain people, there was one specific episode he was talking about different types of chakras and how, there's an episode, you Google this on YouTube or go to YouTube, and he was talking about how certain people, because they describe different chakras as like, it's amazing. And I think the one, he was telling how a lot of them represented like the root chakra, you know, survival, and certain ones, emotions, you know, and then you're elevating to the crown, or I think he said the soul. And this is where a lot of people aren't able to let go. But this is where we are right now. We're at a lot of us are at a crossroad to where most won't get to this place. Most won't have the courage to actually let go. Because some people are in position, this is how it's divinely orchestrated, to actually go out that way. Because some people who, honestly, that's what they're, it may sound weird as fuck, but that's what their soul agreed to. Just as you agreed to come here. Just as we all did. So then this when, and I will definitely most likely start helping people on this, is how, being that the North Node is still Taurus and South Node is still Scorpio, these themes are centered around death, rebirth, death in a sense of, if you want to see it more in the physical, but really in spirit, that, you know, for some it doesn't exist. It's just a continuance. And it's just how everything is unfolding, but everyone has to be at a place to where they're not attached to certain things, because that's the suffering in a lot of which we experience things. We cause our own suffering. Like, what do you mean? Because it's the idea being attached to, like what you see now, people are quitting and letting go of jobs. And this is just the restoring of balance, because let go of that shit. Do you trust in yourself? Do you trust in the creator or whoever your higher power to be? Do you have the faith? Where's your faith now? Do you have faith? Because why hold on to something that's falling apart? It's just like how y'all be so attached to connections and relationships. Well, you made a relationship with the system, or if you want governmental structures or all these things, you developed that since your birth. So, of course, your elders or mother and all these people that were these people, it's going to be a lot of suffering for them, because the idea is that a lot of us came here, was it the generation of, was it Pluto and Scorpio? A lot of us came here to rebel against that shit. And as we're doing that, being our authentic selves, we are creating a ideology or a death in a sense in the spirit, but as it reflects in the physical, we are reflecting and mirroring back to those that this is no longer, it will be no longer. So we come here to realize that our authenticity and living our truth and doing that with love, because before it was through fear and control and manipulation. And this is how these spirits or these principalities were keeping the loop going. But the mass awakening, or the awareness now, the age of Aquarius has already been, and this is just how it's aligned. So there's no more fighting it. There's no more, people are in a place where, you let people fight themselves now. You realize they're in their own spiritual warfare. Those that are in alignment with, when you're in alignment with yourself, it's gonna flow like water. Rest, it's okay. Do what you feel, in a sense of like, believe that you can have and know that you can have that life of abundance and prosperity, and feel it and know it, and prepare yourself. Packing light, that's another thing. Because I don't care what people say. I've been letting people know, like, as we cleanse and do this, I've noticed it's like packing light is going to be the thing. Because our salvation, especially for the ancient melanated people, indigenous people, Aborigine people, our moment, we're restoring. A lot of us are going to be called in a lot of different places because of the cleansing of this land, because of the low vibrational things that are going to take themselves out, or a lot of stuff is going to happen. And we are now to just focus more on our peace, the value that's within, the love that's within, the love that's eternal, the vibration of bliss. Our lifetime now is to live in harmony. And because when we really look back at 20, 15 generations ago, over 1 million ancestors, those that came before us, they wanted and they need for us to be, let me tell you, I can feel this shit. They need us to be who we are and who we are here and come here to be. Just really taking consideration the ones that came before us that didn't get that opportunity to fucking live in peace. So a lot of us are in that position where you're going to have to walk away from the very things that it may seem like you love the most, but in reality, you still love you. Your connection to Source has always and will always be. That doesn't mean that you have to leave people behind. No, they will meet you where you are, and whatever is meant to be shall be. Some people, we had to part ways because they had to go and learn themselves and to know themselves. To know thyself is the greatest knowledge of all here. Learn thyself, know thyself, show thyself approved. But and so, because the storms, the weather, a lot of stuff is shifting. The frequencies are rising. A lot of you are not eating, and it's not having to do with not eating at all. Your bodies are naturally changing. You're naturally fasting. I fucking naturally fasted when I was young, didn't even know what fasting was. Because you think, and this may sound fucking crazy. Think about the people that grew up in survival. And now they're coming out of it. It's a pole shift. Things are changing. So I grew up and I was like, yo, I remember the times where there wasn't nothing in the refrigerator. But that shit was preparing me. I remember, think about the times you didn't have shoes and clothes. And you sitting here, society trying to teach you to fucking be something like, be everybody else but yourself. Now, I ain't even tripping about what the fuck I wear. Yeah, I wash my ass, I clean up, of course you can see, but it's in the sense of like, less is more. But wherever I go, that still doesn't mean that I don't want to look apart, but it's in me. The spiritual currency is in me. It's not on me. Society where people you've been programmed to believe that who the fuck are you pleasing? People pleasing was the worst thing. Oh my God. Who are you pleasing? A lot of which people did is for survival. Do I knock it? No. Because I know a lot of my ancestors that, well, I can't speak for everybody, but a lot of what they did, some of them was rebels, some of them were a rebel with a cause, so, and then they spoke their truth. Everybody not like that. Some people are simply here, their programming is simply here to try to keep up with the Joneses, and that shit is only going to lead in the self-destruction. So why would I sit here and hold on to the idea of what people feel I should be, or society, educational, status, career? What? That shit doesn't matter to source, to the creator. Really? Y'all must forgetting about the story that people that walked this earth before, who y'all read about. Y'all acting like they had all the money on material shit. All these things, y'all forgetting that the greatest thing they ever did was to be of service. Those that did, you know, not all of them, those that did want the good for humanity. Not everybody wants the good. Not everybody wants to see humanity or to see people elevate. Pay very close attention to the people in your life. A lot of it's for your protection. You think you get rejected, and really, it's your fucking protection. Because Spirit is trying to show you something else. Your ancestors trying to nudge you like, hey, nah, you don't need to do this, you don't need to do that. Chill. Go create. Your spiritual gifts, you'll see them seeds you planted years ago, whatever it is. You'll see why you have to experience go back into your pain and your trauma to realize like, oh shit, those were my gifts. Those were my gifts. Now I can use them. Now you're breaking that spell of delusion and confusion and all those things that the family have been in. And you're like, wow, this is okay. And as you realize that, guess what? You're going to have to leave them behind. You're going to not want to partake sometimes. It's not to say you cannot interact, but a lot of shit ain't going to resonate. It's not judging them. As the elder was saying, we get this misconception of what unconditional love is. And she said in reference of like how we are not to judge our family. Unconditional love don't mean let someone walk over you and step on you. No, we're coming by you taking your power back and standing in truth and love. That comes with resistance. That comes with hate. And I tell people, hate is not a bad thing. It just shows that you're in alignment. You're just illuminating. You're just shining bright that you hold on to that love within yourself. Let love draw out that fucking hate. Let love expose that hate. That's nothing I can control. That's outside of me. So think about why would I conform, or why would I support things that have kept people in a place of hatred, of hating themselves? Why would I support that? Why would I support shit or give my energy to things that I know that I don't want in my reality? So in reality, know thyself. Remember who you are. You came here. We came here to remember. We came here to elevate. We came here to enjoy the bliss of life. I'm not gonna sit here and fucking pretend with y'all like, bro, no. I see others, and it just remind me to stay motivated because all this shit is temporary. Ain't no U-Haul behind the hearse, which I don't care to celebrate. Funerals, no judgment here, but it's no U-Haul behind the hearse. So what are you really teaching or learning? It's a process for everyone. We're unlearning. What is the goal here? What are we returning to? Aren't we all returning to love, to source? When you really sit back and see what people are doing, why they're doing it, I don't care what status they are. Not everyone, but why? Are they doing it for love, or whether it be attention, acceptance, or whatever? Do they really love themselves? Look at the women. Look at the men. Do they really love themselves? Who's the driving force? What God or what do they really believe in? It ain't even what they believe in. What does it have to do with you? I'm just saying. So, y'all take care. Peace and blessings. Shalom.